Bluegrass Sports Show, or
The BS Show, the place where two fat guys talk crap.
So what we are doing today is we are talking about the greatest position in basketball, and that is the center position. We're going to go with our top 5 picks for all-time centers. There is debate in this show, but I don't see how you can say any of our guys should not be in the top 5. It is debatable, but all of them have a reason to be there. And when you talk about greatest players in the game, a lot of them are centers.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's the most dominant position. It's the best position. But to jump right into it, I am Carl.
And I'm Perry.
And he's Perry, the animal. So, as you know from our later videos, I have a cheat sheet. And sometimes, though, I differ from this cheat sheet. And Perry does not. Perry wings it off the top of his head. And that's why his picks are terrible. But
I'm bald. I do a lot of stuff.
But we're going to go right into this. It is Perry's turn to start? Yeah, you started the first one.
No.
This is number 5.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, okay. So it's Perry's turn to start. We are going the same as last video. We're going 5-1. Build up the suspense. Get ready for a great show and some great basketball talk.
Number 5 is where we're going to make everybody mad, because I think we are thinking the same, and I think we're both putting this guy on here just simply because he won 11 championships.
Respects. That's what it is. Showing respect.
Bill Russell is my number 5, and it's not because I think he belongs there. If it was up to me, I would have David Robinson over him. But 11 rings and just his influence on the centers that we admired and we grew up watching, and the reason why we both played in the post whenever we played, even though we were extremely at a disadvantage with height.
Wide and short.
And fat. That actually helped us on the block.
True.
Bill Russell, some say the greatest defender of all time. I don't either. Bill Russell is here because he essentially has to be.
Yeah,
because I want him to be.
You got to include Bill Russell.
It is what it is. So I'm assuming that's your 5.
That is, yes. You would be correct in that assumption. So, I mean, as he touched bases on, there's not much you can say against Bill Russell other than the other guys are better. Or there's some other guys that may have been better. The guy won 11 championships. Granted, it was in a different era where there's only 8 teams. He had 8 Hall of Famers at one point in time on his team, including himself, obviously. But, so did he win those championships? I don't know, but he was the defensive backbone of those championships. So you've got to include him. You cannot discount Bill Russell.
Yeah, I'm ready to go on number 4. I'm tired of talking about Bill Russell already.
Okay, my number 4, and this is probably going to piss some of you off, but is the Dream. Hakeem Olajuwon is my number 4. And when we talk about dominant centers, he was dominant in a different way. He had the shake, the dream shake. He had the leg movement, the foot movement. He was a beast in the post. You talked about last video, not sort of off topic, but not really, Kevin McHale's footwork and ability in the paint. Hakeem Olajuwon was that for centers. He was the man when you talk about footwork and just his ability in the paint. So he's got to be on the list. Where you have him might be debatable, but it's not debatable that he's in the top 5.
I think you've completely misled our viewers by saying that this is going to be a debated show, because I also have the Dream at number 5.
They might debate some.
And to add on to the Dream, he was one of the first guys that would face up and attack. He could put the ball on the floor, and he had dribbles. He could go between his legs and stuff. And he was an immaculately conditioned athlete.
Now, not to cut you off, but before you jump to number 3, I want to make one more point.
But yes, absolutely. The Dream for me, he's at number 4. His individual skill could be directly place him at the top of the list. But to me, he didn't
I don't know if I put him at number one, but
he didn't have the direct accolades to go with his skill, in my opinion.
he did have 2 championships.
Well, he did have 2, but
He did beat Shaq.
Yeah. I hate Nick Anderson to this day.
Hey,
but
Nick Anderson. He just
1 free throw.
We blaming Nick Anderson.
1 free throw.
We blaming luck.
Okay, what was your other point you wanted?
My point that I would love to make about Hakeem Olajuwon is the fact that this guy was a volleyball star when he came to Houston.
Yep.
Volleyball star that transformed into one of the greatest centers ever.
Yep.
And he started when he went to college.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't like he started in high school as a volleyball star and had years before making it to the NBA. No, he at most, I don't even think he played till he was a senior, did he? I think he was a junior, wasn't he?
Maybe. I can't remember.
I think he was a junior. I don't know for sure. But, so if he was a junior, that's only 3 years before he makes it to the NBA. If he's a senior, it's 4.
Yeah.
So, 4 years at most before you make it to the NBA.
I think he left it for 3.
That's what I think. But, so, and the guy that was picked before Michael Jordan. So, and you can't debate that pick because it's Hakeem Olajuwon. So, there's not much. There's not much you can say to argue it.
You can't debate that pick because the Rockets already had Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
But
you still got a Hall of Fame 2 championship winner, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But George is the GOAT. That's the reason why you can debate that. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we ain't going way off topic again. So now you can tell us
Number 3.
Number 3.
Okay. Now my number 3. My personal favorite of all time, Shaquille O'Neal. This is where I had.
Oh,
Shaq
man.
winning. To me, Shaq, who is ahead of him on my list, Shaq would dominate. But to me, Olajuwon got Shaq whenever Shaq was a kid.
He was.
Shaq was a puppy.
He was a pup.
Shaq was a puppy. Shaq is the most dominant force to ever play basketball. Now, had he played, who's on my number 2, I won't get any further than that. Had he played during that time frame, he would have done the same thing. Because he's the most elite athlete as far as being just a physical specimen since that being.
Okay.
But I still put Shaq at number 3 here.
Oh,
just
man.
simply, if you go Shaq, 4 rings, 6 finals.
There's not enough you can say about Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal just free throws and injuries is the only reason why he's lower on the scoring list than what he is.
Free throws and
Shaq.
injuries. Free throws is definitely enough against almost every center.
Well,
we can say
for the most part. But to me, Shaquille O'Neal, he's my favorite all time.
He's my number 3 too.
Okay.
He's my number 3 too. Now, what I do know is that we are going to differ on 1 and 2. We are going to differ on those. So but I was talking mainly that they may argue with our views. But
okay.
Because I knew we were going to be pretty close, So, but like you said with Shaq, just a physical specimen. Nobody like him. My guy would still be better, I think.
I don't think he would.
I do. I think he would. But it's going to be a close race. It's going to be close. And maybe Shaq's attitude would make him better. Shaq had to be the man.
There's nobody in history that could stop Shaq.
Yeah, but I don't think he could stop him either.
Maybe.
But anyway. Okay, so Shaq is my number 3, and you've touched on basically everything. He is, at least since Wilt Chamberlain, he's the most dominant force the NBA's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So on to number 2s. All right, my number 2 is Kareem. Okay, and I know a lot of people are, he's scoring. Okay, his scoring was a longevity thing. That's all it was. He no season out of 20-year career dropped below 20 points a game.
And you're holding it against him?
I'm not holding it against him, no, but I'm saying that's the only reason he's leading the scoring. Wilt Chamberlain only played 13 seasons. You take Wilt Chamberlain's 13 seasons against Kareem's first 13 seasons, Wilt kills him. He kills him in every stat. He kills him. So I put Will above him. Longevity is the only thing that's pulling for Kareem in my book, and that skyhook. The skyhook was dominant, and championships. But I'm not. I'm not. I don't place. That's more of a team thing to me. If we're talking about best teams, championships matter. But if we're talking about personal stuff, then it doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
To me.
Okay. Now, as far as my number two, what we would go ahead and look into at this point is Wilt Chamberlain for me.
Okay.
Okay. I will give you my argument for Kareem in just a moment. Wilt, to me, it's because of his accolades, his scoring, and his rebounding. The reason why I'm putting him at 2 over Shaq.
Ooh.
Shaq's better. Wilt's numbers were unbelievable. Also, it goes back to the time frame. And I'm not wanting to punish him for his time frame, but you have to consider this.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep going, because I want to rebuttal.
The average height, and not only just the time frame for the size of his players, the race. The NBA was a predominantly white league at that time. And I'm not racist whatsoever, but if you think that...
At most, you're racist against white people.
Oh, yes. They have better tans than I do. But anyway, if you think not all, but a 90% predominant white league where your tallest opposition is maybe 6'7" or 6'8", gives you stiffer competition to go against as a 7'1" African American with predominantly higher levels of athleticism across the board than anybody to ever play the game to that point.
Right.
If you think that is stiffer competition, then the merging of the ABA and the NBA, the emergence of other centers the same size, the same race, then I just...
No, I'm not making the argument that it's a harder time frame to play in. Not at all. But I'm saying you can't discount his ability or stats based on that, because if you did, especially height's a big argument. They say he was bigger and taller than everybody. Bigger, Shaq was bigger. Are you going to use that against Shaq? No. So you don't use it against Wilt. Taller, if height mattered that much, Yao Ming, George Mirasan, Sean Bradley would have dominated the game.
But they didn't have the skill.
Right. So what you're doing is saying his skill is what made him great. That's what you're saying by saying they didn't have the skill to dominate. And Yao's a Hall of Famer.
Wilt had predominantly unbelievable skill.
Right, exactly.
He was but that
and they didn't count blocks back then, or he would lead the league in blocks.
But that skill was effective for me to that camera.
So
my number one pick could score for anywhere.
But hold on, you're saying he was better than Shaq.
No, I'm not. I'm saying Shaq.
I mean, you saying Shaq's better than him. Shaq's skill was pretty much...
But Shaq did it with people his same size.
No, he did it with people the same height. Size was no.
Well, weight-wise, no.
Yeah, strength, weight. And he would literally dunk through people. Not over. They would block the ball, and Shaq would keep going. I've seen him dunk it, the ball go down, smack the floor, come back up, and hit the rim, and he dunked it with his hand. He wasn't off the floor. He may have tiptoed, but he dunked it with his hand, and the pure power from that little finger flip had that much power on the ball.
And something else I'll tell you, Wilt Chamberlain, just his overall numbers individually, statistically, scoring, rebounding,
yeah,
it's a product of the time. He did not have remotely the competition to go through. And I love Wilt. Wilt's my number 2. I love Wilt. He did not have remotely close to the same competition to go through.
I agree.
Is what Shaq, or my number 1, Lou Alcindor, also known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
True.
Kareem.
But he played against Kareem.
You're killing me. He played against Kareem very early in Kareem's career. Kareem was still a kid at that point. There's a reason why you said Kareem's got the all-time scoring title, because he played 20 seasons. You also said he played 20 seasons averaging 20 points a game every single season.
Mm-hmm.
that can't be held against him. If anything,
I'm not holding it against him.
that propels him back up and gives you another reason why he should be placed above. If you put Kareem against those
My
things,
number one is Wilt. That's why we're having this argument.
if you put Kareem against the same guys that Wilt played against, Kareem had so much more of an arsenal to score with. Kareem could score 15 feet from the basket. Kareem could hit free throws. Kareem.
But I'm not just talking scoring.
I understand that.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm not just talking scoring.
Well, let's go ahead and go in other dimensions. You realize that they did count blocks for a solid, actually the bulk of Kareem's career, but they didn't.
Not Wilt's.
I understand, but the first 4 seasons of Kareem's career, they didn't.
Right, I know.
If you go by the basis of what his other season totals were, and that's all you can go by. If you go by what he was averaging, Kareem's your all-time leader in blocks.
I agree.
As well. Kareem was an excellent defender. Kareem was the best player in the NBA for over a decade.
I know. I'm not arguing that fact.
Kareem, to me, Shaq would power through him. Once again.
But Shaq wouldn't be able to stop him.
Exactly. But
Shaq
nobody in history, even though Wilt had better numbers head-to-head against Kareem, Kareem still had numbers. It's not that he shut him down or anything like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Kareem couldn't stop Wilt.
Well, scores are going to score. It's like if you put Gary Payton on Allen Iverson. Iverson's still going to score because scores are going to score.
Right.
It's containing that score. It's trying not to let that person beat you.
But he won in every stat against Kareem when they went head-to-head. Except for blocks because we don't have.
It's a very small window.
I agree. I agree. I wish we had a bigger window to see them two play.
But we don't. If you put Kareem in today's game,
he's still going to be just as good.
If you put Kareem in Wilt's day against in Wilt's day, I meant to say game and day, and I mixed it together and said day. I'm sorry. But anyways, if you put Kareem in that same era where Wilt's averaging 50 points a game and 30 rebounds, Kareem does the same.
I don't know if he does the same.
And
but he's right there with him.
What? Kareem could do it.
And that's what I mean. It's 1 and 2 is neck and neck. I just place Wilt above. So, but if we're talking about to make my argument for Wilt, right? When we talk about my favorite players, when we're talking about the best, and center is a spot you can go to. You guys go back to the point guard video that we released. I had a specific way of point guard I'm looking at. Center's not that way. If you can do it all, that makes you better, in my eyes. Point guard's the only one I'm really specific on. But, so centers, Wilt done it all. When they said he couldn't do anything but score, he led the league in rebounding. When they said he couldn't do anything but score and rebound, he led the league in blocks, defense, right? Did the best. When they said that's all he can do is those 3 areas, he led the league in assists. He done whatever he wanted to on the floor. Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. Done whatever he wanted, and nobody was stopping him. And you can say product of time, I agree, but I think he would have done that in today's game. Or maybe not today's game, but I still think he'd dominate today's game. But in the era of the great centers with Patrick Ewing, Hakeem, Shaq, all of them, he's going to do that same stuff. To me. And that's why he's number 1.
If you want an eyeball look at what Wilt Chamberlain would have been in today's game, go back to 2009 and 2010 and look at Dwight Howard at his peak, whenever Dwight Howard was great.
But he still wasn't Wilt.
Well, he still wasn't Wilt, but that's what Wilt would be like in this era. Wilt, that's it. I mean,
he had more to offer in the post than Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had nothing.
Wilt had a hook shot.
That's all he needed. But Dwight Howard had nothing besides dunks. That's why he died out.
Well, Dwight Howard also started getting his feelings hurt and his back was hurt.
Oh, gosh.
Everybody to like him.
We are not having a video about this because we can go all day. But I realize now, looking at the time that this video has been on, that we have went way over our time frame. So I do apologize for the extra long video. And he is trying to get a endorsement contract, apparently. So what we are going to do is we're going to wrap this video up. I'm sorry, guys. But as I said before, this is a highly debatable subject or position. So your guys' comments, they're well appreciated. Throw them in there. We'd like to see your all's top 5, how much they differ. Probably not that much, but a little bit anyway. So if you liked it, go ahead and smack that like button. If you want to, hit that subscribe. We had Diesel in the same spot. Anyway,
I told you.
Shaq, promote the video.
Shaq's number 1.
In our hearts, Shaq is number 1. So, thank you guys for watching. And peace from the Bluegrass Sports Show.